Hi Year 8 and welcome to the second video in our little series, and of course I want you to all look at your Year 8 Booklet 1 September to December, and you can turn to page 3. Okay, so basically the learning intention here is to show understanding of pencil grades and create a tonal scale. We're going to be looking at hard leads, soft leads, pressure and tone, and we're going to shade in a 10-point tonal scale, and then we're going to show tone in our little cube at the bottom. Okay, so just to start off, as you can see, there are loads and loads of different grades of pencils. The one in the middle is a HB. That is a mixture of both hard and soft leads, and it's the most common pencil that people use today. But for art, we need to use more specialized pencils. So for example, we may use a H pencil, but more likely we'll use a B pencil because they're softer leads and you don't have to put as much pressure on them to get the different shades and tones. Okay, now when you get your pencil, you will notice that there's a little marking on the pencil that says 2B. There are other pencils, for example Staedtler and Norris make pencils where they give it in color codes. So the 2B pencil has an orange. I'll just show you that. 2B pencil has an orange top. Then we have a HB pencil by Staedtler and Norris, has a red color code. And we have a H pencil, this is a 2H pencil, has a green color code. Now in our pencils, we would just be using pencils similar to this, or just all blue pencils. Okay, we're going to use a 2B pencil. But where is the 2B pencil on the scale? So if HB is in the middle and B is to the right of HB, then it just goes up 2B and so on up to 6B. Your task is to write in the extra letters between 2B and 6B. So for example, you may put in 3B in there and the numbers will go up towards 6B. On the other side, we have the H pencils, which are the hard leads. So I've done the first two for you. You've got H and 2H, and then that goes up to 6H. So the one after 2H on that side might be 3H. So it's up to you then to put in the rest of those, okay? Now, when it comes to the tonal scale, what we want to do is we want to shade the scale below from 1 being the darkest. So the darkest will be here, and 10 being the lightest, so the lightest will be here. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to go from dark tones right the whole way up to light tones at the end. Now, obviously, the darker the tone, the more pressure you will need. And what we've done in previous years, if you imagine your pencil, and just put your pencil down beside the scale, in order to almost use like a stabilizer to get your first idea of how much tone to use, if you imagine that the darkest, you hold the pencil down at the tip and really put a lot of pressure on it, and that will get you tone 1. And then at the very end, if you were to hold the pencil very lightly like this, and you might put in a very light tone like that. Okay, if we just do the darkest one, so you're holding the pencil right down at the tip and you're putting in a lot of effort, and you're trying to make that as dark as you can. Put a lot of pressure on it so it nearly becomes shiny whenever you do tone number 1. Okay, so you can see the difference between 1 and 10. And now what I want you to do is I want you to number 5. So if we were then to look at our pencil again, and if I want to do tone number 5, I might hold my pencil in the middle. And what I want to do is I want to be telling my hand that it has to be lighter than that one, but it has to be darker than that one. So you want to start thinking about a mid-tone. So if I just put in a little mid-tone, okay, so you can always come back at the end and tidy it up, but that seems to be our little mid-tone there. Okay, the next one then we want to do is we want to do a tone that is lighter than this one, but darker than that one again. So we'll put the pencil down, and you'll see that if we look at maybe number 8, we'll try number 8. So we want to be telling our hand, it can be quite tricky to hold the pencil while you're doing this, but we want to try and tell our hand to make that tone a little bit darker than this one, but a little bit lighter than this one. Okay, so you then go on and you complete the scale looking at the one that's darkest towards the one that you want to do, and you want to make sure that it keeps on going dark right down to light the whole way down. Okay, now this is one that was created last year by one of our first years, and as you can see, the tones go from dark right the whole way down until they get lighter right down at the bottom. So using pressure on your lead, you're going to put in all of those tones for me just as you go down from left to right. Okay, making sure they go dark right down to light at the bottom. When you've done that, what we want to do is we want to look at shading in our little cube at the bottom. Okay, so you're going to use maybe a 1 or a 2 tone for this tone here in the front, because our light is going to come down from the top. It's quite similar to this little tone box down here. You want probably about a 5 or a 6 at the side, and you want like a 9 or a 10 at the top. Okay, and making sure that you apply pressure the whole way down. Now what usually I do is I would maybe outline the square, now another thing about using this tone is don't do it diagonally. Always go with the nature of the object. So if you are shading in, you can shade in that way, and you can shade in that way, but not that way. Okay, just go with the nature of the side of the object. When you want to shade this side, try and shade it going parallel with the lines top and bottom, or parallel with the lines up and down the side. Then of course when you get to the top, and then you want to do a very light tone, what you can do is using these side lines, make them that way, and you can maybe, if you want to, tidy it up, going across like that. Now if you do go over the line like so, you can always use your rubber to tidy up the edge, make it nice and clean. Okay, so in fact a lot of our students last year, what they would do is they would actually just go beyond the lines like so, till they get to the very bottom, so it's nice and even, and then they would just take the rubber and they would tidy that up along the edges and even in there. So what you have is a nice even tone at the side of the page. Now obviously then, if you're going to be toning like this, I even turn the page and I want to make that as dark as I can. So you'll continue that the whole way over. Trying to put as much pressure, because it's quite dark side, that, as you can. Okay, and then obviously then you can tidy up along the tops and the bottoms to make it nice and neat. Okay, and that's us for this little video. Check out our next video, which is about page 4. Make sure to subscribe at the bottom. Thanks.